Hello, this is Artemis_anime, and today I am reading Izuku, intentionally, scaring Class 1A 3 times by sleepyoongs. Summary: Saki Izuku was an interesting character. He has a scary sense of humor, and he was blunt to the point of making you cry, and he held a power over the number one hero, though his classmates still loved him. Or 3 plus 1 times of Izuku being Stern-Eyed child. 1. His morbid humor. Sasaki Izuku only wanted to indulge in his favorite snack in the world that only came around once every season. He even knew living in the dorms with teens would have no concept of simply asking if they could have something and simply just taking what they wanted, that his things would be touched. It wasn't as if it never happened before, though Izuku decided he would put an end to it. Up until the mere upcoming future, only a few shameful past weeks later, really, his classmates would only repeat what they did wrong. Which brings Izuku to the current situation now in the kitchen. He sees Kaminari enjoying a cupcake that was his, while Gyro and Ashido lazily make conversation with him. "Ah, Kaminari, are you enjoying that?" Izuku says, in a passing, while he went to the fridge to find something new to eat as he gave a fleeting glance, careful not to show off any of his true emotions. "Yeah, man, it's great. I'm lucky to find the last one." Izuku gave a wry smile while taking the bowl of apple slices. Cold apples, in his most humble and right opinion, were the best, though not many of his classmates shared his objection. "I wouldn't be too sure of that, Kaminari. I could see something in the near future, and it wasn't pleasant," Izuku thoughtfully said, with a watery and heavy, tense glare washing over his chartreuse eyes. Kaminari paused in his mid-bite and almost in a swift comical motion turned his head with a snap. What? What did you see, man?" Izuku sighed as he slowly treaded his way past the girls, who stared at him in a near suspicious manner, though mostly Gyro did so. Ashido caught on and had a twinkle in her eyes as she covered her mouth, adding more drama needed to the situation. No, perhaps I'm wrong." "Your foresight is never wrong," the electricity quirk user cried, now nearly pulling out his hair. Izuku smiled, a sad smile, as he shook his head. "I saw sickness. Perhaps, maybe death. I couldn't see very far into the future, though. As you know, I am able to see many timelines and through some previews of the past. So perhaps you can..." No, that is simply preposterous." "What? Stop being so secretive! What does it mean? Am I dying? What do I need to do?" Kaminari demanded, and Izuku wryly gave a crooked smile as he threw on a cold, crispy apple in his mouth. "Well, perhaps you could change said timeline by going to the store." "The store?" "Yes, though. Please let me finish. You'll go to the store and replace those cupcakes. It'll be almost as if you didn't eat them in this timeline. Once you do so, I believe you'll be fine, as long as you do not touch them," Izuku said, as Kaminari, with his half-eaten cupcake in his hand, was just now being thrown into the trash. "Gyro, take me to the store, now! I don't want to die!" he cried, not giving the girl a chance to agree or deny. He was quick to grab her by the wrist, dragging her out of the kitchen. Snorts filled the air as Izuku took a glance over at the person who made the noise. "Oh my god! You're so fucking morbid. He's gonna have nightmares for weeks now," Ashido said, as Izuku gave a sweet smile, turning on his heel to leave, though of course not without his final words. He shouldn't have touched what wasn't his then. 2. His brutal honesty. Izuku was known for his harsher sense of personality throughout 1A. With him, one to have a sharp-witted silver tongue that has never failed to either make a person quailed into themselves or, on the worst scenario, even cry. The first time the class caught wind of Izuku's brutal truth-speaking was on the second day of class. Evidently, it was around lunchtime, and most of the class wanted to learn and about each other better. Of course, by doing so, they asked their developing friendship groups to sit together. Though some groups, that idea wasn't working out so well. "Come on, Baku bro, we gotta sit together," Kirishima said, with his tone sounding whining and his face pulling a kicked puppy expression from the rejection. "Fuck off, I would never sit with you extras," growled Bakugo, whose hands started to glow, heat up, and spark as quickly growing warnings. Kirishima, he was quick to throw his hands into the air in defense. Hey man, wait! Katsuki. Izuku caught Kirishima with a simple, bored look. The ashy-haired teen stiffened, though he relaxed quickly, with his scowl and annoyed snarl turning its attention to the green-headed teen. Fucking what? There was less heat and less bite in his tone, as the threatening rumble was nearly non-existent. You need friends other than me. You need a friend who is willing to tolerate your cracked-out rabid dog personality, but also somehow on frickin' steroids too. You need someone who is willing to knock you down 10 pegs when I'm not there. Besides, I do not need to look into your future to tell that Kirishima-kun would be good for your overall self. Now, Uraraka-san. Bewilderedly, Kirishima stared at Izuku, who was having an animated and lazy conversation with Uraraka, though he wasn't the only one to stare in such a way. Ashida was in a horrified awe and respect. Uraraka, despite being in a conversation with Izuku, she had a confused, twisted face. Her brown eyes were wide, and they were blinking in a wild, fast-paced motion. Near her, Ida seemed so confused on if he should scold Izuku for what he said, or praise him for what he said. The engine-quirked teen was quite literally stuck in place, with his arm chop frozen midair, his jaw tight, and a crook which seemingly stuck in the process of teeth grinding. Kirishima could only wince at that pose. He knew it had to be painful. What are you extras standing around here for? Shitty Hair and I are going, or no. Not too long after, Bakugo's grumbling and gravely voice broke through the shock. What? Kirishima dumbly said. Ugh, dumbass. Why does Zuko fucking want me to be your fucking friend? You're fucking... Ugh. Bakugo ranted in rage as he forcefully grabbed the red-headed teen and dragged him along. What? Kirishima repeated, though this time out of sheer disbelief of the fact that Izuku had done the impossible and managed to convince Bakugo to be friends with him, and without dying with how he said it, too. What shitty hair. How did Midobro not die? If someone else had spoken to you like that, they wouldn't have gotten out of their words. Kirishima asked, with genuine curiosity, since Bakugo had listened to Kirishima and everyone else. It was a hard feat to do. Dumbass. He's my voice of reason. Or that's what Auntie Inko says. Uncle Murray says that I should listen to him, and I do. It's fucking fortunate. Fortunately, what comes out of the nerd's mouth is usually right. Is he a fortune teller? Bakugo gave the driest look as if he was questioning something. Shut your dumbass up before you die or whatever. God, why did Izuku choose you? Kirishima couldn't help but smile to the lack of malice and heat behind the teen's voice. Only mild exasperation was found. 3. Number 1 hero versus 1 scary child. Sensei. Ida stumbled over his words before settling on calling All Might Sensei. He felt weird calling the man anything else yet. The former number 1 hero said not to. It was truly a crisis. Ah, young Ida, what can I do for you? All Might's voice boomed brightly as the once hero gave a wan smile that stretched across his face, pointing ear to ear. Well, sir, as Class 1A's representative and president, I have come to tell you that we as a collective have come to a decision on... Ida gave a low clearing of his throat, while miraculously pulling a sheet of paper from thin air. Ida, my boy, we, Class 1A, would humbly submit an offer to you to come to UA movie night at the dorms later tonight. We notice that you have been more upset and lacking in terms of care for yourself, more so than before. My boy, please. All Might, sir, join us. We want to help, Ida pleaded, while he gave a sharp 90-degree bow. Young man, I find it heroic that you would want to help. But I am fine. No need to be worried, if nothing is wrong. Ida gave a helpless frown to the decline while his eyes drifted helplessly to his classmates. An annoyed sigh could be heard, and the sigh was from Izuku, who could stare at All Might unimpressed. You're going, or I'm telling Dad, Izuku said, and Ida swore he saw the former number 1 hero give a flinch to this. Though there was no way, Ida must need stronger prescription glasses. Young Izuku, you wouldn't... Wryly, Izuku stared with a smile as he pulled his phone. In the silence, there was a faint ringing, and All Might, despite being frailer and sicklier, he was agile. Within seconds, he leaped over to Izuku, taking the phone, though only for him to splatter up blood and from the sudden jarring of movement. Izuku scrunched his nose up to this. His phone was now painted in the crimson blood of All Might. How wonderful. Okay, I'll go. Just please don't tell Mirai. Good. Now give me back my phone. I desperately need to sanitize it before it gets a virus. Izuku said, flatly holding his hand out, completely oblivious to his classmates' own disbelieved distress, and wisely choosing to ignore All Might's own indignant smock at what he just said. What the hell? What type of sick power he holds over All Might? Cursed Zero as he stared down in confusion, and even with a bit of fearful respect. +1. Daddy Sir and Cat Toshinori. It was a lazy day in the dorms, with most of the class being built to lay down in the common areas. Izuku was currently at a table with Uraraka, Ida, Todoroki, and Bakugo, who had Kirishima also joining next to him. Those two, as of late, were more so of a package deal when it came to some things. Hey, Sensen, what can your quirk do besides see the future and bits of the past? Uraraka asked, with her head tilted in a way. If I connect or touch with a person, I am able to see different probable timelines of said person. And by contact, I am able to see an invisible thin web-like string that allows me to grab onto people from a distance. Huh. That's impressive. Can you choose what vision you see? Izuku shook his head at Todoroki's question. No, one person can be a flash of their past, and another can be me seeing them in their future, or their probable future, Izuku explained to the others, who gave a soft, oh. At least, Uraraka did with interest, as a twinkle glowed in her eyes, the same as she usually gave when an idea came to her head or she was up to no good. Izuku liked to think she had an idea this time around. Your quirk is like Sir Night-Eye. You should totally intern under him next year. Izuku gave a low, amused chuckle to what the brown-haired girl said. He would intern under Sir, if the man hadn't been training him since he was 5. Izuku and Sir Night-Eye, who was Izuku's dad, both agreed that once he got to UA, he should expand who he trained with. Yeah, I should, though Izuku decided to take the dismissive route, as seeing this was absolutely hilarious that his friends didn't know who his father was. The quirks are so alike because Sir is Sasuke's father, Todoroki leaned in and seriously said. A beat of silence took over before a round of laughter roared over Uraraka, Kirishima, Todoroki, and even a quiet chuckle came from Ida as he gave an eye roll. Bakugo, though. Izuku could see his friend already feeling what the ever-present deadpan while muttering idiots under his breath. Izuku soon found himself agreeing with Bakugo. That's a serious Totobro. Sir, as a son? Well, bro, you killed my sides. That is a bit outlandish, Todoroki-kun, Uraraka said, Ida said, with a head shake, while he gave a light smile towards the half-and-half teen who only shrugged. Why is it outlandish when it's true, Ida-kun? Izuku said, plainly, which caused another silence, then another round of laughter that was much louder than the last. Izuku cringed. His poor ears felt them quail and sob from the scream-like laughter coming from Kirishima. Dude, bro, we got it. The joke is funny, the redhead said, as he held his stomach that wasn't tensing up. Son, you're killing me, Uraraka cried out. Izuku pulled a confused expression with his brows now pinched to his head, and his head cocked. What was the joke? I'm being serious. Katsuki, please tell them I'm serious. Fucking nerd is serious. Uncle Mirai is Sir Night-Eye, Bakugo spoke up, his voice slicing and piercing through the sudden quietness that took over. Oh my god. No fucking way! I thought it was a joke! Kirishima screamed, with his jaw hung and Izuku shrugged. Well, it's not. My dad is Sir Night-Eye. I need to add this into my notebook, Todoroki muttered to himself, and everyone wisely chose to ignore that ominous statement. Is that why All Might listens to you? Uraraka asked, her voice taut from the shock that took over her mind. Bakugo scoffs with a smirk playing at his lips. He's scared is a better word. Izuku sent a kick under the table and a pointed look over to Bakugo. No, but really yes. Uncle Toshinori is scared of Dad, Izuku answered, with a growing grin at this knowledge. He used that fact to his advantage a lot, though only for small things. He would never truly try to harm or take advantage of All Might. He was trying to be a hero after all. Oh my god, that's priceless. The things you can do with the blackmail, Kirishima said, with a snort, as he gave Ida a scandalized, incredulous look to that. And you are absolutely right. You shouldn't do anything of the sort. We are trying to be heroes, Ida scolded, with him cutting off Izuku through. The other teen continued, as if Ida wasn't ever speaking. Does anyone want to see Toshinori dressed up in a cat onesie? I have photos from using this power since he lost a bet. What type of bet? Lowly Todoroki wondered, though Uraraka interrupted with a brash head nod. That sounds cursed. Abso-fucking-lutely, Uraraka said, as she grinned fairly. Ida, it could be heard screaming internally to the actions that certainly were not heroic. And that was Izuku intentionally scaring Class 1A 3 times by sleepyoongs. And thank you all so much for listening and bearing through. I didn't have as much time to edit this week, so thank you for listening. I will see you all next Sunday, and I will be trying my best to post then, but I might get a little delayed. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye!